For months, COVID vaccines have been readily available to anyone 12 years of age and older. Despite that, only 47% of Idahoans 12 and older have taken advantage of that availability. We have one of the lowest vaccination rates in the country at 47%. And yes, there's a certain contingent who will never choose to get a COVID vaccine, but there are also those who aren't necessarily anti-vax, just vaccine hesitant. Some say they're waiting for more information and the possible release of traditional vaccines that are not based on the mRNA technology. Would that kind of vaccine be enough to encourage more people to get a COVID shot that would get us closer to that herd immunity? Joe Paris asked that question, I should say, of Dr. Patrice Burgess, chair of Governor Brad Little's COVID-19 Vaccine Advisory Committee and executive medical director for St. Alphonsus Health System.
Idaho health leaders continue to encourage people to get a COVID vaccine as the more contagious Delta variant drives up cases and hospitalizations. In recent weeks, there has been some encouraging signs in the Idaho vaccine uptake, but still there are major challenges.
We are seeing a little bit of an uptick, certainly not as much as we would like. You know, we'd like to see a much higher percentage of our state vaccinated that's eligible.
Dr. Patrice Burgess is chair of Governor Brad Little's COVID-19 Vaccine Advisory Committee and the executive medical director for the St. Alphonsus Health System. She says one reason Idahoans aren't getting the vaccine is due to misinformation about the available vaccines. One comment specifically is that the vaccines are experimental.
These are very well researched vaccines with a very good safety profile, but I do think that's one of the big issues is people thinking that they're experimental when they're really not.
Some Idahoans are waiting for other vaccines to be released. There is hope that non-mRNA vaccines, like Pfizer's and Moderna's, will help bridge the gap to those that are vaccine hesitant.
The mRNA and the Johnson & Johnson vaccine technologies are new. And so that can be concerning to folks that, maybe have a little lack of trust in the system or something like that. Whereas the Novavax technology is built on a very familiar technology. So for some people, that could be something that would make them more comfortable getting vaccinated.
The Novavax COVID vaccine that Dr. Burgess referred to was positioned to be released sometime this fall or winter. The timeline of the release, though, is now uncertain as Novavax handles the collection of recent challenges with their process. And to be clear, experts say that the mRNA vaccines are safe and effective. Dr. Burgess explains how they operate differently than Novavax.
In the mRNA and the Johnson & Johnson vaccine, those vaccines teach our body to make that protein, whereas the Novavax just gives us the protein and we make the antibodies that way. So for some people that are worried about the other technology, it could be more comfortable because it's a more familiar technology that we've used in other vaccines.
Dr. Burgess says she understands the feelings of fear or people just being unsure about the new mRNA technology. However, she has this insight for people waiting to get vaccinated.
I absolutely would not wait because we are in a situation right now where these variants are developing. And right now, the one we're dealing with is Delta, but there are others out there that will continue to develop. So the more quickly we can get people vaccinated and immune, the better off we're going to be.
If you have concerns about the safety and effectiveness of the mRNA vaccines, Dr. Burgess says just look at our ICUs. There's a common thread among those suffering worse from COVID.
The effectiveness is really showing up right now because our hospitalizations for COVID, the people that are in the hospital or the ICU, 98 to 99% of them are unvaccinated. So if you ever wanted to see any proof that a vaccine works, that's your proof right there.
All right, Joe, so we're coming up on this deadline when it comes to these health systems. Middle of next month, I believe, when they're expected to be fully vaccinated or at least have a first shot of the vaccination. What about these other vaccines, this Novavax? Can they get an exemption if they want to wait for that one?
Yeah, so these are employees of St. Alphonsus, St. Luke's, and Primary Health Group. And I was referred to the health policy today that says if you do not get one of the available vaccines that are out right now, you can apply for a religious or medical exemption. Brian, it is a tough situation for employees of the medical system that say, I will get the vaccine, but I want to wait until the one I want comes out. And it's a totally understandable thing to say, but the health systems, again, have this guidance that if you do not get one of the vaccines, the 3 vaccines that are out there right now, Moderna, Pfizer, and Johnson & Johnson, you could risk your employment. Again, they're taking everything up on an individual basis. You can get an exemption. You just need to talk to your supervisor at your place of work. But again, we know that there are people that are waiting for the vaccine like Novavax. It could be coming out in the fall, be coming out the end of the year, could be early next year. It is wait and see.
But those are not medical or religious exemptions just because you want to wait. So that doesn't seem like it falls into that. And if we don't wait, we're not heading in the right direction right now.
Yeah, Dr. Burgess told me that we are heading into some concerning territory. She says we're heading into a situation that could be as bad as we saw in December last year, which was a very bad part of the COVID pandemic for us here in Idaho, if not worse than that.
We're starting to see some of those numbers back that up as well. All right, thank you very much, Joe.